Imagination is what we need to get us through this lockdown. This is Life in a Scotch Sitting Room, Volume 2, Episode 2 by Ivor Cutler. "Come, lads, what shall we play at today?" whispered Grandpa, busily dandling us. "The seaside," we shouted. "Down the River Clyde," I added, for which impertinence I received a mighty buffet, bleeding my tender nose with his vast white knuckle. How was I to know I was mouthing obscenity? But the blood soon dried, and I had the pleasure of picking the clots. He rose, and we slid over the edge of his kilt. Out the cupboard came the tin lid of Troon sand, sadly depleted, and 2 milk jugs with decent spouts. We stood in a rough quadrant, holding forth our left hands, according to custom. But I didn't mind, as I was left-handed, even though my coordination was poor, owing to the myelin shortage. Grandpa moved round, placing a grain of sand on every hand. Then he started a second round, and a third. And I held the big quartz grain, almost twice the size. He spotted the envy on other faces. "I bled his neb," he grunted. We went off to play. Each girl chose a boy to sit cross-legged before as she knitted. Her job was to blow into his face and hair like a breeze. Grandma came round with a lump of coarse salt and scraped a few grains onto every girl's tongue. If a fleck of spit hit you, the illusion was complete. Then she filled a milk jug with treacle and poured it back and forward from jug to jug, spilling barely a dribble. It sounded like estuary waves, which was the only kind we knew. There were many sorts of games to play with our 3 grains of sand: juggling, building castles, digging holes, making faces, reflecting light to dazzle Grandpa as he sat muttering and picking at his sporran, knocking them together to see if they would fetch the stone chat from his bush in the garden. I used to be able to sniff them up one nostril, tilt my head, and catch them out the other. When it became too dark to see, the sand was collected in. Grandpa never counted. We were on our honour. The first to hand in his sand got sucking spilled treacle out the tufts of the carpet. I am convinced the girls enjoyed the day's outing as much as we did, in a placid way. Then we had tea.